Hey everyone, Jake here. This is my 1000 round review of the Yonex VCORE 100. Today I'm going to go over the power, spin, control, fatigue, and price point of this racket. My goal is to help other people find the racket that best suits them. I myself have been through a phase of testing out and trying dozens of new rackets and hurting my arm in the process. So I want to just try to help people avoid that and find something that works for them. The structure I follow to test these rackets is hitting at least 1,000 tennis balls, 150 forehand cross court, 150 backhand cross court, 150 forehand down the line, and 150 backhand down the line, 50 volleys forehand, 50 volleys backhand, 50 serves deuce side, and 50 serves ad side, 50 slices forehand, 50 slices backhand, and 50 lobs forehand and backhand. The reason why I do this is for two reasons. One, to test the fatigue level of the tennis racket. Hitting 1,000 tennis balls roughly simulates a 2-hour tennis match, so you get a really good feel for how this racket is. And number two, getting over the hump of using a racket I'm not used to. So putting this all together gives me an accurate review of the tennis racket. All right, so let's go over the specs of the Yonex VCORE 100. So this racket weighs about 10.6 ounces unstrung. This racket is head light, so more weight of the racket is in the throat and the handle. There is less weight up top here. The head size is 100 square inches. The string pattern is a 16 by 19. Recommended tension is between 45 and 60 pounds. This Yonex has what they call VDM, or vibration dampening mesh. So there's a little bit of technology in here to help dampen or cushion the feel of the ball when it hits your racket. It's not as stiff. Now, this racket in particular is a demo. So for strings, it's just synthetic gut, but its tension is currently at 60 pounds, which is a lot higher than what I'm used to playing with. And I'll get to that later when I do the fatigue part of this racket, because I think the tension played a part in that. This is a sandy beige paint job. You can get this in also red. And for those of you who are new to Yonex, you might notice the head shape looks a little different than the traditional circular racket. Yonex calls this isometric, which kind of squares out at the ends here and at the top. And this is supposed to give it more of a sweet spot, which when I was playing today, I felt like I did have a larger sweet spot where there was more forgiveness on my shots. There it is. So the first thing I noticed about this racket is the power in comparison to my Bobla Pure Strike. I felt like the ball would just launch right off my racket. I could tell from my shots as a whole, a lot of them were going long. This Yonex, I feel like, helps me generate power without me having to do a whole lot of anything. Overall, the power just felt great coming off this racket. I felt like I was hitting shots that were just like snappy and just, you know, had a lot of oomph behind it. Especially when I was hitting it in that sweet spot, that ball was just flying. I felt like my backhand became more of a weapon and less of a defense. And for people that don't know me, my backhand is not that great. So having a racket that boosted my backhand felt really, really good. Number two, spin. I could tell I could get a lot more spin off of this. When I focused and really tried to put as much top spin on a shot as I could really feel that ball come off the racket and spin back into the court and kind of skip off the ground a little bit. So I could tell that the spin coming from this racket is a lot more than my Bobla that I play with currently. Slices with this racket was really, really fun to use. I think it's because of that isometric head and the 100 square inches, which gives you that bigger sweet spot. Because I could tell with my forehand slices and even the backhand slices, they felt really, really good. And I was hitting shots I don't normally make. Number three, control. Now for me, this is where I think the racket came short just a little bit, was the control factor. Now I know that has to do with the tension and me getting used to a different racket and that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, when I was pretty dialed into this racket, I could tell that my shots were always just a little bit off from where I actually wanted them. Now, if I played with this Yonex for 4, 5, 6, 7 months or a year, I feel like I could dial in that control and get it to a spot where I really, really like it. The playing style I lean towards is more control and flatter shots. This feels really good for power and topspin shots. All right, number 4, fatigue. At the end of the session today, I could tell that my forearms were on fire. They had a gnarly pump and they were hurting. And I think part of the reason for that is the 60 pounds of tension, but I could tell wielding this kind of racket will take a toll on your arms a little bit. Not to the point of like you can't use it, but you'll probably feel it at the end of that 2 or 3 hour match. And some will argue that playing a 2 or 3 hour match will make you tired no matter what, which is true, but some rackets will do it faster than others. All right, number 5, price. The 5 categories I've broken this up into is $0 to $50, $50 to $100, $100 to $150, $150 to $200, and $200 to $300 or above. At the time of filming this video, it's roughly around $280 to get this racket. You can get them a little cheaper used or some other places online that you can find. So yes, pricey racket, but I feel like it comes with a lot of features that a lot of players want, and so they're willing to pay for that kind of price. And maybe the paint job too, I don't know. So overall, I would say this racket falls into intermediate and to some advanced players. The reason why I say that for some advanced players is maybe the play style that they have is less control, more power, as in they just want to pound their opponent into the ground, not so much hit those clean down the line shots or painting the lines kind of shots. But for a lot of intermediate players, I see this racket working really, really well because it provides a lot of power, a lot of spin, gives you a larger sweet spot, and it feels great to hit slices and volleys with. Let me know in the comments what racket you want me to review next, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.
There we go.